Hello, Internet. It's been a while. I've been going through a lot here. I hope you can ignore my messy room behind me. Kind of making this on a rush. I want it to be fresh and off the top of my head. But let's focus on the real issue here. How bad Ninja Assassin was. I know that last time I said that Max Payne was probably one of the worst movies I'd ever seen in my whole life. That was before I saw Ninja Assassin. It's the first movie I've ever actually walked out of. I mean, even Max Payne, at least, was able to see it through to the end. This one, it got so stupid at the end that if I would have stayed any longer, I would have had an aneurysm or something. So I had to go. It's just bad. It's just bad. I want to say more than that, obviously, but I want to make that point apparent. It's just terrible. So, the acting is crap. Shut up, phone. Don't Metal Gear at me. Sorry. The acting is terrible. The plot, if you even want to call it that, is like someone came up with it while they were taking a shit or something. Like, they were on a toilet one day and they were like, let's see, ninjas! Like, they just threw it together in, like, an afternoon. It's pretty terrible. So, the story of the movie, there's this dude, or rather, ninjas kind of exist in our common everyday world, but they're a secret society and only few know about them. There's these families, school things where they steal kids away and train them to be assassins. And basically this one dude was in one of these crazy kid ninja turning camps or whatever you hell you want to call them. And they killed his girlfriend, and he, rebels and brings him great dishonor, so now he has ninjas stalking him all the time. But he's, the most badass ninja or some shit. And there's some girl from the CIA or whatever agency she was from, I don't really give a shit. There's some girl from her, and she starts to, investigate the ninjas, and then the ninjas come after her because she's getting too close. And, of course, he ends up saving her, and he wants to get rid of the head ninja dude, and she's gonna help him, and they love each other. It's bad. It's really cliche and terrible. And it just has so many glaring inconsistencies, and bad dialogue, and bad editing, and bad cinematography all over the place. Okay, so at the beginning of the movie, the chick, her boss is all incredulous, and he's like, ninjas in this day and age, ha ha ha, oh you. And then, she shows him one piece of evidence, and he's like, you're right, there are ninjas. And it's like, what? How did you change his mind in, a minute? It's dumb. So, she does that, and then the ninjas start to, get on to her, and they're like, oh, well, you know too much. So they send an assassin after her. Before that, her boss gives her a gun, and mind you, she's just a researcher or something like that, but she takes the gun and she's like, what am I supposed to do with this? He's like, you might need it to protect yourself. We're getting in deep here to kill her. And the ninjas in this movie, mind you, they're like demons, basically. They don't hide in the shadows, they become the shadows.
I don't even mean that in some stupid metaphorical way. I mean, they literally turn into shadows and, can disappear and do all this crazy shit and, heal by saying mantras. But I don't mean, oh, I'm healing spiritually. I mean, if I cut my arm right now and I went, blah, blah, and, it would heal. It was bad. So, this ninja comes to kill her. The good ninja dude comes to save her, of course. And he's like, we must go. Because he's all stereotypically, strong and silent in the beginning. But I'll get to that in a minute. So, she's, shooting at the ninja and missing horribly because, she's dumb. The guy saves her. They kind of go on this misadventure where, he's teaching her how to avoid the ninjas and, trying to get more info on this dude and where he is and to help her out, but help himself out. And long story short, it culminates with the, CIA agency people end up fighting all the ninjas. Now, throughout all this, they keep dispersing this dude's backstory, which is really bad, and, the only character in the movie who was actually cool was his dead girlfriend. Everyone else is, really stereotypical. He has this guy that he's rivals with for no reason, just because the master is all like, I'm your father, but I don't really care about you, I'm going to torture you. It's bad. So, it culminates with them attacking the place where he was born, or where he learned to become a ninja. Now, mind you, throughout the movie, the ninjas are taking out, Yakuza members, one guy takes out, a room full of, 6 to 10 Yakuza guys, nothing. They have, automatic weapons and pistols and magnums and crazy shit like that. Later on in the movie, when the main ninja love interest guy gets captured by the CIA, which is another stupid thing, 4 ninjas come and wreck their shit. It's guys in,
SWAT armor and MP5s, and they kill all of them in like minutes. All of a sudden, at the end of the movie, when the CIA comes to attack the Ninja Fortress, which is one, their territory, two, loaded with ninjas, it's like 100 plus ninjas there, plus the main badass ninja dude, they're just dying left and right. The chick at the beginning of the movie, the researcher, the one who was like, what am I supposed to do with this gun? Is like taking ninjas out in like 2 shots. They're storming the place, and she's just like, Papa! Papa! Let's go! And it's just like, what? What am I watching? So, you know, of course, all stereotypically, the guy, you know, he's going after his master, and he runs into his rival, who really isn't his rival at all. He's just the guy who killed his girlfriend. But I mean, like, yeah, sure, that makes sense. But it's not like they had some deep hatred for each other. Like, he just killed his girlfriend because it was an order, and then all of a sudden the guy's like, remember when I stuck your girlfriend? Ha ha ha. Like, for no reason, he's just an asshole. So he kills him in like 2 seconds. It's the wackest fight. And then he goes after the master, and the master's all like, you are my #1 prodigy. And it's all cliche, and it's just like,
well then, I guess it's time to fight. I'm really paraphrasing, but the lines aren't much better. And he fights the guy, and this is almost the part where I walked out. He's fighting the guy, and the guy's like photoshopping into and out of the shadows. Like, you know when you're playing Street Fighter and you're using the Kuma and you do the Raging Demon? He's doing that, but like in and out of the darkness, and there's like after images. It looks really cheesy and shitty and bad, because the guy's like 1,000,000 years old, and this is the only way they could portray him moving that fast. So, the point at which I left is, now mind you, this guy is like a ninja master. He's fading into and out of the shadows. He is striking like pressure points. He is fucking the main guy up, like the main and protagonist. He's destroying him. He's about to lay the killing blow, and out of nowhere, through all the ninjas, through the building being on fire, through the building coming apart, the love interest chick, the researcher who didn't know how to use a gun, runs in and like pops this guy in the chest twice. And I just got up and left. I was like, I can only tolerate so much, and that was the final straw. I later found out from a friend that basically the movie ends when a guy turns to stab her, but her heart's on the other side, so she doesn't die, which is a really cheesy plot device they used earlier in the movie. It's just bad. And, like, to just talk about, like, the inconsistencies, like, the main character goes from being all strong and silent to, like, later on, he's, like, cracking jokes, and there's no continuity in his character whatsoever. The chick randomly becomes a Marine out of nowhere. Like, she just knows how to shoot people and do evasive maneuvers. It's just bad. Like, then, you know, the fight scenes, if you want to call them that. Okay, so, let's see. Here I am now. You know, I'm in focus. You can see me. I'm the focus of this movie. When the fights are going on, I kid you not, it's like, it's just bad. Like, the camera's all over the place, and it's really dark, and you can't see anything, and, like, they do this thing that I guess was supposed to be cool, where, like, he'll go to punch someone, and then they'll zoom in, but, like, not in a cool way. Like, in The Matrix, right, when, like, Agent Smith gets punched by Neo, it's all cool, and you see, like, the ripples in the water. Like, no, it's like if I went to go punch you, and it zoomed in on my elbow, and it was like, no, elbow action, and then it zoomed out again. It was just terrible. And, like, they use slow motion, in my opinion, completely inappropriately. Like, there's this scene where we're getting chased by ninjas and the scaffolding, and it's kind of cool. You still can't see shit, and it's mostly CG, because, like, all the weapons were CG for whatever reason. It was terrible. And he's running, and he jumps, and you're like, oh man, he's gonna do something sexy, like grab a pole and flip, or like land on one knee and like dent the ground, something cool like that. No, he like busts his ass into the scaffolding, like, no! And it's like slow motion for that, and I'm like, don't you want a slow motion when he's doing something cool? Like, it doesn't make any sense. I really don't know what they were going for. I don't know if it's an experimental, I don't get it. And I mean, the movie's called Ninja Assassin. I didn't expect it to be like an award-winning movie. I mean, I went in with literally no expectations. I saw one trailer. I wasn't wowed by it. A few friends of mine wanted to go see it. I was like, okay, sure, whatever. But it was just terrible. Like, they didn't even try. Like, Shoot 'Em Up was a really stupid, goofy, you know, shooting people's legs off and arms off and killing people with carrots. It was dumb. I loved it, but it was fun and it was well made and the action scenes were good, despite how campy and unbelievable they were. This movie just... I'm done. I can't even... I'm sorry. Like, I was trying to be more animated about it. It's just bad.